Hey everyone, this video is going to quickly go through how to set up your introduction and your conclusion for your To Kill a Mockingbird essay. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to start with introductions. So the purpose of your introduction is to lay a strong foundation for your paper. You want to make sure you're capturing your reader's interest, but ultimately the most important part is that you're saying what your theme statement is, and that's going to lead into your thesis statement. So I'm going to show you how that's going to work a little bit later on in the video. But the big thing with your introduction is you want to catch the reader's interest and let them know what you're going to be talking about in your essay, and then give us the theme and tell us where you're going to trace that theme. Now, your introduction, it is not going to be as long as your body paragraph. Same thing with that conclusion. Your introduction may be 5, 6, 7 sentences, whereas your body paragraphs are probably over 12 if you're giving quotes and analyzing them. So if you're looking at this presentation, which can be found in your Buzz agenda, it'll list different strategies you can use to capture your reader's interest. You can also just kind of directly jump into the topic you're going to be addressing. But a couple strategies might be starting with an anecdote or story. You can use a quotation, but just make sure you follow that up with a brief explanation of how it connects with the ideas you're addressing. You can make a direct, kind of surprising statement, but again, it should be something related, not just like, I like doing jumping jacks in the snow. I mean, I don't know where I came up with that, maybe because it's snowy out, but you see what I mean. That connects nothing to my paragraph. Don't just say something shocking that does not tie in with what you're talking about. Now, how you should set up your introduction. So you're going to start with some sort of attention getter. It could be more than one sentence. Then you're going to explain and kind of get into your topic and what you're addressing. So maybe I'm talking about isolation throughout my paragraph, or throughout my essay, in which case I'll be wanting to address that that's what I'm talking about. And remember, for your introduction, you do not need to incorporate quotes from the story. You really shouldn't need to unless you're using it as an attention getter. The quotes and the evidence you are going to be using in those body paragraphs. Okay, and then the most important part is going to be your thesis statement. So your thesis statement should always be the final sentence in your introductory paragraph. Now, in our case, your theme statement that we came up with way at the beginning when we first started talking about your papers, your theme statement is going to be a part of your thesis statement. So let me show you what that's going to look like. And this may be 2 sentences, so you may, at the end of your introduction, you may have one sentence that is your theme, and then say, like, this theme is going to be explored in blank, blank, and blank, which are going to be your paragraphs. So let's just look at this template here. It says the theme, you would put your theme there, can be traced through events, characters, and symbols within the novel. But you would list those specific symbols, characters, and the specific real-world connection you're making. So this is set up slightly differently because we changed the paper over time. But you're going to list what your 3 paragraphs are going to cover in that thesis statement. Okay, so again, this example is going to be slightly different than what you're going to be doing, but here let's take a look. It says, and this is a sample introduction, knowledge is empowering, ignorance is limiting. An uneducated society is a threat to itself. When people allow knowledge to be limited, they also allow for omission of truth. Families, communities, and societies who cannot or will not speak the truth risk halting progress. Because of this, people in power tend to limit others' knowledge in order to maintain power. They do this by creating silences, limiting education, and forcing isolation. Now again, yours is going to be slightly different. However, what you're going to put is, notice how this addresses what the theme is, that people in power tend to limit others' knowledge in order to maintain power. That's my theme statement. And then what I do here is I list what the 3 paragraphs are going to be about. So the first paragraph is going to be about creating silences. The second is going to be about limiting education. And the third is going to be about forcing isolation. For you, it's going to be slightly different because you were given 3 specific focuses for each paragraph. So for example, if I'm writing about isolation in this story, and its impact on people. My theme statement for isolation would be the second to last sentence, or if you can make it all one sentence, that's fine too. And then I would list where this theme is going to be explored in the paper. So for example, I might say that isolation deeply impacts people over time. Okay, that's by no means a great theme statement, and I need to expand upon that more, but you get the idea. So isolation deeply impacts people over time. And then I would say in this thesis statement, this can be seen in the symbol of Mayella's flowers, in the character of Boo Radley, and can also be seen in the real world, or in, and then list the specific event you see isolation in. So maybe you would say this can be seen today in how people are isolated from COVID-19. Or whatever it may be. So again, for your theme statement and your thesis statement, you're kind of combining the two, and you're giving your theme statement, and then you're listing the 3 topics you are going to cover, and each topic is going to be a different paragraph. And you want to go in the same order of your paragraph. So if I'm talking about my symbol first, that would be paragraph 1. If I'm talking about the character next, that would be paragraph 2. And then if I'm talking about my real world connection, that's going to be paragraph 3. And that's the order I want to list that in my thesis statement. All right. From there, what we're going to do is you are going to work on your conclusion paragraph. So once you have your introduction, you're good to go. Take a look at what is required in your conclusion paragraph. So you want to do a few things. You don't just want to restate what you already said. That's lame. You might have a call to action that urges the readers to do something about an issue. You might go over what the significance of your findings are, or the significance of what you analyzed in the story are. But specifically, here's what you want to do. So your conclusion, you do want to address the theme. And then you want to talk about how the theme is important for students in America to read about, to know about. You want to stress why To Kill a Mockingbird and the themes you explored in this paper are significant and relevant to, especially to teenagers in America today. So basically, this conclusion is going to express why those ideas, even though this book was written a long time ago, right, in the 60s, why those ideas are still important and relevant today. Okay, and again, your conclusion and your introduction are not going to be as long as those body paragraphs. Here is an example of a conclusion that you might write. So it says, in today's society, it is important for citizens to seek knowledge. Without a firm handle on the truth, people are easily manipulated through forced silences, isolation, and poor education. It is important to be vigilant and have a voice. We must stand tall against the forced silences in society that keep us from progressing together. This message is an important one for high school students because up until this point, we have gotten most of our information from adults in our lives. It is critical for us to start to analyze what we see and to hear instead of assuming truth without proof. That rhymes. You do not have to rhyme in your conclusion. So big thing here is, again, reiterated what the theme was, and then also expressed why this theme and why this idea is important for high school students to explore and to think about in today's society. All right. If you have questions on your theme, sorry, people keep knocking on the door. If you have questions on your theme, how to put it both in your intro and conclusion, please let me know. All right, that's it. Thanks.